Hi everyone for joining. I'm Asha, Akashic Records reader, blogger, podcaster, and YouTuber. I'm trained under the Starlight Academy of Singapore. For you guys who, some of you I've met you in previous meditations, some of you from the Starlight Academy, some of you from my Instagram pages, and some from Eventbrite. So welcome, welcome. So for those that are not familiar with the Akashic Records, it's getting more popular these days, but it is nothing new age. So the Akashic Records is an energetic realm where the records of every soul since the inception of time has been stored. So that is one component of the Akashic Records. There's also the other component is that there is a team of Akashic Masters that safeguards or protects each individual's Akashic records. And these Akashic Masters, they are ascended masters. That means they have reached enlightenment, mainly from the 5th dimension and above, who has this additional portfolio, so to speak, to take care of our records and ensure that it is untainted. So through an Akashic Records meditation, these are the divine beings that we are working with. We're working with the Akashic Masters to bring down their energies and allow the group to receive. So that's how it goes. So for my meditation, there's 2 parts to it. First, we'll have a short channel sharing. Hopefully, I won't drag too long. Mainly what they want me to cover, okay, what we can do to prepare ourselves for 2024. There's also the other part, which is, then we'll have a short break, of course. Then there's the other part, which is the channel meditation. So I'm very excited for this. I received the energies yesterday. It felt really good. So I hope you guys can receive it as well. So we are talking about today's subject matter, a loving heart to welcome 2024. So the masters wanted me to share what the participants can do to prepare ourselves for 2024 and the amazing energies that so many people are talking about that we are going to receive. You know, there's all this talk about higher, purer energies since a few years back. And the problem is not that these energies are not present. The problem is us. How much of these higher and purer energies can we integrate effectively into our energy bodies so that it doesn't end up coming and going? Like the good energies, we receive the great downloads and amazing meditation. Then 1 or 2 days later, it's gone. Then we are back to square one. So if we find ourselves having trouble to integrate these energies, what can we do to help ourselves? So that's the focus of today's sharing. And there are 2 components of it that we can do to help ourselves. The first is to declutter internally and externally. So the purpose of that is to get rid of those older, denser energies that are taking up space in us or around us that affects us. Then with that cleared up, then we create space. And then there's second component, which is then the consistency of our spiritual practice, which is how we can then effectively integrate more and more each day these good energies. I'll let someone in. Okay. So, yeah. So then we focus on first, how do we declutter internally? Then we talk about externally. So to make space internally, there are two recommended methods. First is to do a 24-hour fasting. So when we fast, what do? We can drink water, but we restrict our intake of food as much as possible. So if we are really hungry, we take a small piece of fruit or some yogurt to last us through the entire day. So that purpose of taking the food is to stop the stomach from growling excessively, okay? But the whole focus of the process of fasting is to reset the body and importantly, the mind. Because the mind is so caught up in that routine of getting food at specific hours or even going on autopilot, and we end up overeating. So it's a very common thing. We indulge in our senses a lot. So when we do fasting, it becomes suddenly what we are very used to. Not just physically, but also emotionally, our source of food suddenly is missing. And then we have this period of time where the body has to get used to missing something that it is so used to every day. And I realized that practice itself, it brings about that greater clarity and lucidity in the mind. When the body is not always busy digesting, because sometimes we eat and then when we don't eat, we snack, and the body is often very busy for most of us. So fasting is a good way to create space in the body. The other way is to do an intestinal detox. So the difference is that for detox, fasting is to restrict the food for the entire day, 24 hours. Okay, only when we're hungry, we take a bit of yogurt and whatever just to stop the stomach from growling. We can drink water. Detox, on the other hand, usually we make use of enzymes to kind of purge out the toxins that are stuck in the intestines. So this is really another effective way that I discovered for myself, which was the last crucial step to me regaining my good health. So that's the whole long story of my medical issues. But detox itself, I realized that it is not just a fashionable thing. It is something that effectively purges out all those indigestible toxins or material, whatnot, that were lodged in the intestines for months. And when we get them out, we feel a sense of lightness, not just in the body, but also in the mind. So that two things are really effective. And there's one thing is that if you haven't been doing, we would highly recommend drinking filtered and crystallized water. I believe most of you here would have done so, but if you haven't, consider first installing a water filter so it makes sure that the obvious chemicals are purged out. The second one is to use a crystallized bottle. So there's one brand, Vital Jewel, which is pretty reliable, Vitajewel. So we would highly recommend that. So the effect of that is that you are putting water in a borosilicate glass that encapsulates certain crystals. So why we drink crystallized water is that these water are in a structure that is most easily recognized by the body and therefore easily absorbed. And when we first start drinking crystallized water of a specific type of blend, most often it will create a mild detox effect in the body. So that is also part of that purging for the body, releasing what's not good. And moreover, with our body made up with so much water, it effectively helps us to regenerate our body, build new cells, build cells that can hold more light. Okay, so that's for declutter internally, to create space within for higher energies to flow. How then do we declutter externally? And why is that important? So externally, we are talking about the spaces that we are often spending our time in. For most of us, it would be our home and our office. So why we bother? Because the external energies will then be a reflection of our internal energies. So for example, if we are living in a very cluttered space, a dirty space, a crowded space, more often than not, it will be very difficult for us to reach a very peaceful state of mind. It is not that that peaceful state is not within us, but more that because the external surroundings are creating so much interference, that it is very difficult for us to really go deep into meditation. And even more difficult after the meditation to integrate these good energies in our energy bodies. So it's kind of end up, coming and going, the good energies that happen. So how do we declutter the space that we're in, especially year end, is a great time. The masters are saying for decluttering to take place. If you haven't, maybe we can even start today, tomorrow, before the new year, just to get things ready in our home, in our office. So when we talk about decluttering in our home, we can start room by room. Okay, and what we want to do is we want to throw out or donate all those unused, unwanted, pre-loved items. So for example, things would be old books, assignments, even, textbooks from university days. Some people, even at our age, almost 40 years old, we are still keeping university notes. Oh my God, that's like 30, 40 years ago or 20 years ago. And some, even college days materials are still in. All these things that we are never going to flip, just it's time to throw them away. All those toys that we use in childhood that we're no longer using, all those books that we used to read but haven't touched in the last 5 years, it is really time to throw them away, because all those things that we don't really touch but are still occupying our space, they all represent stagnant energies. And stagnant energies is what we never want in our space if we are doing light work. If we're trying to integrate higher energies, we want the space to have energies that are constantly flowing and moving easily. And whatever is stuck there for a few years, we try to throw them away. And for example, bills, receipts, invoices, even warranty cards that have long expired, these are things that are best to be thrown away. And broken items, some family, mine included, sometimes we treasure things so much that even if appliances are broken, we try to keep this spare part, that spare part. And over many years, we end up having a storeroom that is so cluttered. So I didn't realize how dense the energies are until, because I've been staying on my own for a few months and keeping the energies as light as I can. So whenever I return to my parents' space, they love collecting all these broken appliances, spare parts. So the moment I walk into the place, I can feel that it is so much denser. And it is not because the parents are not keeping up with the meditation practice. They are trying their best. But the energies of the space are not supporting them as much as they could have been. So the space doesn't reach its highest potential of supporting the occupants, which is a real waste. And for example, letters from past relationships of people that are no longer in our life, things that bring out not so good memories or memories that may not really serve a purpose right now. It's time to just let them go. Okay, and then for the bedroom, if we go through room by room, so that's all the materials. The room by room, clothes is another big issue. Clothes that no longer fit, clothes that we have not worn for the past 5 years. It is really time to throw them away or donate them so that someone else can receive. So yeah, I do have friends that, for example, they went through pregnancy, and the clothes that they, before pregnancy, they could wear, after pregnancy, they could never wear. And it is a whole wardrobe full, and they continue keeping for many years, hoping that one day they would go back to the pre-pregnancy weight to claim back those clothes. But unfortunately, what happens is that it didn't materialize, and then right now they need more clothes. So they end up having 2-3 wardrobes full of clothes, of which only half can be used, and half end up being stagnant energies. So if that kind of sounds like, the situation, it is good to just clear out what we don't really wear, so we keep the energies flowing in the space. And for kitchen as well, the fridge is often a blind spot. I was trying to clear the fridge yesterday as well. Expired items or items that kind of end up at the bottom of the fridge, then we kind of realize that, oh, it's moldy now, and we like took half a cucumber and left half a cucumber there to rot for 1 month. Yeah, so things like that, they are all not very good energy. So we try our best to clear them. And just to share that why we talk so much about decluttering, not just externally, the space will support us in our spiritual practice. When the space is light, when the energies are flowing, we will find that when we meditate, it is very easy to concentrate. And after meditation, we feel that the space supports us, nourishes us in the integration. So that's when a larger portion of us can hold the higher energies more permanently in our being. The other component of space clearing is that it facilitates emotional release. We don't often realize how much we are attached to different items until we are being asked to reconsider and maybe throw them away or donate them away. Then we realize there is a lot of attachment to a lot of things. When we read certain letters from certain people that are no longer in our life, that also triggers a lot of emotional release. And these are things we also want. It's like a decluttering of our internal world, which is a great thing as well. And then after we have sought through this decluttering process, actually the space clearing is almost about 70% done, even, without doing any other procedure to it. And after we have cleared the space, sometimes we might feel inspired to shift the furniture around. Shifting of furniture is a great idea before the new year to kind of bring, make things less stagnant. Even if it's by a few cm left and right, it is a great idea. And other procedures you can consider doing on a weekly basis. I'm not sharing extensively because we are not covering a space clearing workshop here, but just for general maintenance of the space, you might want to consider buying white sage leaves to burn, okay? And then start from your, so creating some smoke in the leaves, yeah. And then starting from your main door, walking clockwise around the entire house, and then smoking through the entire house. It will be rather smoky, so you have to keep all your windows on. and air purifiers, if any, on as well. So that whole idea of saging the whole space is with the intent of removing all these stagnant, dense, discordant energies and emotions in the entire space. It also, in its process, removes all good energies as well. So it removes everything, okay? So then when it's done, you will feel a certain lightness in the space, okay? After the smoke has dissipated, you might want to consider repeating the process, but this time burning either Palo Santo stick, again creating sufficient smoke and going through the entire space. So it's rather smoky, but the intention is to infuse good energies. So Palo Santo stick is one. The other option is to use frankincense resin placed on a charcoal block. So then you heat up the charcoal, and then it creates a lot of smoke. And then again, going through the house with the intention to infuse these higher, purer energies, attracting divine beings into the space. So that's what we can do. And then other procedures we can add on as well is, for example, we can prepare a bowl of water and either leave it out on moonlight. That means overnight. You don't have to wait for full moon or new moon, just any night. Or then that's the moon energies water. Okay, wait for one night if you want the moon energies water, which is calming and peaceful. The other one is the sunlight, which you just put out a bowl of water, wait for 2-3 hours. So that's more energizing and uplifting energies. So you can put that, either the moon water or the sun water, depending on your preference, into a spray bottle. And then you go through the house again, starting from the main door, and then just spraying on the top portion of the walls. And the idea is to use the element of water to remove a deeper layer of all these dense and discordant energies. Okay. And then if you have a singing bowl, optional, so all these are optional to consider. You can also do that one round clockwise around the house. And at the end of it, prepare a bowl of Himalayan pink salt, okay? And then put it at the center of the home and leave it there overnight with the intent that any remnants of negative energies will get absorbed by the salt. And the next, after 24 hours, you can just throw it away. So we have talked extensively on this space clearing, decluttering externally, and also decluttering internally, because we believe that these are very important. We need to get rid of all these so-called not very good energies within, around us, in order then to have space to receive higher, purer energies, and also to effectively integrate these energies. Okay, so that's that. Then there's the second component. After we have done the decluttering, maybe we can consider, doing that during these days or the start of Jan, something to consider that will really help us to prepare for 2024 energies. So once that's done, the second component, which is then the consistency of your spiritual practice. So why is that important is that even if we declutter internally and externally, that creates space. So then we go through one meditation, maybe say one Akashic Records meditation with me. We got some higher energy downloads. The thing is that the integration process is not one-off. And for most of us, in order not to shock our energy bodies, our bodies are intelligent. So they'll absorb bit by bit, bit by bit. And then as it feels more comfortable, a larger portion of our body is then able to absorb and integrate these higher energies. So then the consistency of practice comes in, because it will then build that backbone for us to receive these good energies. And why is it important to receive these good energies? Because the more we receive, it is like entrainment. of our energy fields, we start embodying more and more of the higher energies that these divine beings carry. And the reason why we are able to embody is that it starts awakening those dormant parts of us that were divine, that used to be able to hold these higher energies. So then it allows us to truly rise to a higher version of ourselves in this lifetime that we may not even have thought possible. A calmer, more peaceful side of us, a side of us with greater clarity, with less mind chatter, a side of us with a stronger soul mission. Not just what another reader have told us or another healer have said to us, but we know within us that this is the truth. We know within us the higher voice within that we can always trust. No matter what others say, no matter all the nonsense externally, we know that deep within us, there is this strong pillar of light that we can count on, that is truthful, that is unshakable, that is divine. So that is how all these higher energies can really transform us in such magical ways in this lifetime as we keep up. So how then do we have consistency in our practice? Most important, our meditation practice has to be done daily. And when we do our meditation practice, how we keep up to it daily is we learn to reflect why we are doing what we are doing. To realize the importance of this meditation practice, not just to bring us to momentary peace, but to really awaken the dormant parts within us, to allow us to embody more divine light over time, and to allow us to rise to our higher potential, highest potential in this lifetime. So then, as we rise to our higher potential, our mission will naturally come in. We will feel a greater calling to pursue certain things in life, not just following the crowd, like some fashionable trend, everybody going for this, so I should go for this, but rather to find the inner voice that is so loud and bright and clear that we're going to do this, even if I'm going to be the minority of one, because you know that that's what you feel very aligned to draw, to work on. So that's the daily meditation practice that's really essential. The second part is also in your spiritual practice. Consider how your efforts are made to free up all those unnecessary entanglements in your life. So for example, if you are pursuing working consistently with a mentor, with an academy that you trust to facilitate in the purging work, and you're following through, that's not so much of an issue. If you're not, then you might want to consider the efforts that you're doing to purge out all those denser energies within. For example, recently I rolled out this new service. It's called the Unnatural Jehovian Seals, Unnatural Implants or Seals Removal Session. So why is this session even important? I actually chanced upon this term because the masters were talking to me, and then they got me to see this word J-seal. So it aroused my curiosity and I started checking. And I felt drawn to trying out a session myself. So then I realized that all these unnatural implants and seals are blind spots. They are things that other negative entities or false light beings have placed in the human energy fields that either restrict us from rising to our highest potential from being in a state of good health or trying to interfere or control our mind with very disruptive thoughts. So these are things for your consideration, how you can free up unnecessary entanglements. Consider if you need a session to remove unnecessary implants and seals. Is going at a very attractive offer right now, because I truly want as many people to benefit as possible. And I'm not someone who just rolls out any service just because I've learned it, but I have a certain conviction that it will be of benefit, and that's why I do it. The other thing is that I don't provide this service, but you can consider, for example, karma clearing or balancing sessions. So these are things that help us to kind of reconcile the past karmic entanglements in past lives, in present lives. So these are things that what we are trying to do, we are trying to free up our energy fields. So you can imagine us, we are one physical body, right? But then we have many layers of auric fields around us. We need to tend to them. They may be hanging rubbish from everywhere. Things that other people gave to us, the cords that we've taken on from others, and then all these karmic entanglements, all kinds of rubbish. When we truly want to integrate higher energies, we want to clear them up as much as possible. It is usually not a one-off, it is consistent efforts. But for the removal of J seals, that will be a one-off session. For other unnecessary implants or seals, it really depends how you're going through your day, what kind of information you're exposed to, because even after it's been cleared, it is possible that we continue to take on. So the same goes for negative karma as well. So then that brings to a point which the masters want to iterate, is that it is really important as we go about our day to try our best to observe our thoughts, our speech, our actions. This is easier said than done, but it gets better with practice. I realized for myself at the start, I can barely do it. But as I focus and commit to my daily meditation practice, I do it twice a day. It brings in me pockets of stillness that I'm more entrained to. So I'm more used to being still, being quiet, being in a space of not reacting. That really helps as I go about in my daily life. Also, not reacting easily to triggers, not just when someone says something, I must, quickly fight back, but really being in the space of just receiving and just observing what's going on in my mind. Oh, I feel a little uncomfortable. Oh, that's jealousy. I spot it. Anger is rising. Why is anger rising? Kind of thing. It creates more space like that. And then that's when I realized that the spiritual practice helps us to be more and more neutral each day, which is really useful. And then when we go about observing, we can't just, go through the day like that. It is useful at the end of every night or every 2 nights to try to do some journaling so we can just kind of make sense of our mind. A lot of us, especially when we are overthinkers, it is good to write down. So when we write down, it makes it clearer what we are thinking in our mind. For the thinking brain, when we write down, it helps us to process our emotions. So that is what I'm feeling. I felt this, then I felt this, then I felt this. So it's kind of more systematic this way. So something to consider. And then the last point is in your consistency in spiritual practice, of course, you cannot miss out on taking care of your physical body. That means to really start being mindful of what you're eating and how your body feels after eating. So it's not just about eating what everybody says, is good for us, so we just eat, and then eating in large proportion because they say it's good. It's also about fueling into the body, How does your body feel after eating this? Does it experience like bloating, stomach upset? It's difficult to digest? Or it feels, after you eat, this portion is good, but, as I got a bit greedier, I ate more, then, my mind feel foggy, my body feel, lethargic and all. So, things like that, it really will help us to observe then how much we should be eating, what kind of food we need to take. And this is important because our physical vessel is the direct point to receive all these higher energies. So if we are weighed down by all kinds of things, in our body and all kinds of things that are not good for us, we are constantly taking, then unfortunately, even when these higher energies come, they can't really stay. And most of them will just leave. So that's what happens in a lot of us, that we can't really hold or integrate these higher energies. Or even if we try very hard to do so, it's only a small portion. But it is the master's remind, it is very much possible to receive and integrate most, if not all, of these higher energies. But you have to make sure, back to the point, that first, see if you can declutter internally or externally, and then that creates space. Then you have that consistency in your spiritual practice, because then that brings about entrainment of the body to the higher energies, and then over time it gets better. Welcome back. Because of the time constraints, I just start off with answering Shamini's question. Shamini, are you on? Are you back? Okay, great. Okay, so your point first on the space clearing. So just now, Esther and Rini, we were doing channel sharing. So you can listen to that next time when I've uploaded, if it resonates. So we are talking about how best then to integrate the higher energy. So we talk about decluttering internally and externally, and also consistency in the spiritual practice. So now Shamini asked that, for her case, it's very difficult because she lives with her aunt. It's very difficult to declutter the space because she's very possessive over the stuff. In that sense, what can you do? So there is a limitation here, because that space is not controlled by you. The only thing I would suggest is you do what you can within the space that you can control, and to respect her position. So it is difficult because, of course, the easiest is we can quickly throw out things that are all these stagnant energies everywhere. But if we can't, then we just focus on what we can do to help ourselves. So for example, maybe in a certain space that, she allocates to you, that you can have greater control, you can focus on working that space. And that in itself, over time, as if she shows a little bit of more receptiveness, then you can encourage, but of course, give them the time and space they need, because throwing out things, as I shared, is also an emotional release. It's not just about throwing things that are no longer used, but often people have a lot of attachment, so that needs time to process. So I recognize that's a limitation, but do what you can in your own space. And maybe one day you realize that you can then inspire her to start taking baby steps to throw out things. It is not impossible. So that happened in my case for my parents, also very possessive over items, and I stayed with them. I started with my own bedroom. And when they started seeing that I'm really serious when I say decluttering, and there's a difference in my room compared to their rooms, then that kind of started them to do baby steps to throw out. So you can try that. On your other question, you say you work in a hospital, work long hours, often feel tired for meditation. So meditation, we have to be in a state where we are not deprived of sleep. Can you imagine if you feel that you are so You are like a walking zombie. I can't find a better term. You feel that you're a walking zombie. You can't even have sufficient sleep and you feel like dozing off in the daytime. Then it's very difficult in such cases to even do meditation. I'll suggest, okay, first, make sure you get sufficient sleep. Second, try to relook at your life, your work, and see how best you can cut out things that are taking your time, but not adding value to your mental wellness. For example, some things like surfing the phone on YouTube, Netflix, often we end up spending a lot of time on that. But that actually makes us feel more tired. Of course, a small portion to bring in some laughter and joy, that's fine. But if we feel that we are already like drowning, we feel so tired, and yet we have time for these things, can you imagine, if we take steps to replace some of these blocks of time that we may have during rest time and all, to listen to a recording or meditation, to do this, to do that, that may start making a difference in our lives. So consider that as well. So wherever we are in meditation now. Just relax comfortably into your space. Take in a couple of deep breaths. Breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth for the first couple of breaths. As you breathe in, intend to breathe in the higher, purer energies in the Akashic records into all cells of your being. As you breathe out, intend to release all dense, discordant, and stagnant energies and emotions that no longer serve you. Breathing in and out. I call upon the four great archangels, Archangel Michael, Raphael, Gabriel, and Uriel, to stand in four corners of each participant's space, the energetic space we're having this session, to hold ground, protect, and support the space. I also call in each participant's divine presence, angelic team, galactic team, angels of love, angels of peace, Egyptian goddess Hathor, Lord Buddha, to join us for meditation now. Keeping an open heart and mind as we breathe and receive. And our team surrounds each of us and the entire group in a circle of light. Each breath that we take, we are taking in these higher, purer energies from these divine beings who love us. And feel these energies bringing us to a state of stillness within. Stilling our bodies, our hearts, and mind. And feel the light expanding from the crown of our head, like us in a tree trunk, and from our head, like the branches and leaves, rising above the tree of life, rising to the cosmos above, rising wide and high, connecting with the central sun in the cosmos above. And the rays of the central sun flows down in abundance through our leaves, the branches, the trunk, forming the central pillar of light in our being. And exiting from the soles of our feet, as we can see another tree of life forming beneath the soles of our feet, from the tree trunk to the branches to the leaves, as it rises below, wide and high, connecting with Mother Earth and the sanctuaries of the inner earth, going as deep as we can. And as we form this double tree of life, above us, below us, continue to breathe in the light from the divine beings surrounding us. Continue allowing the rays of the central sun to flow down, building our central pillar of light, and then nourishing the inner earth, Mother Earth, beneath us. And this is how interconnected we are to the heaven, to earth, to the divine friends around us. And as the light continues to pour down from the central sun, we intend for the light to assist to balance, activate, and awaken each main chakra of our body. As it works through each chakra, it helps to purge and release what no longer serves, to assist us to create more space in each chakra, and then filling it with divine light. Just breathe and receive. And in some areas, you might feel emotions coming up. Simply breathe through these emotions and let them go. And we call upon Saint Germaine, holder and keeper of the violet flame, to run through the violet flame, the flame of transmutation, through our energy bodies 7 times, facilitating a deeper purging of all dense and discordant energies in our chakras, our physical body, our auric fields. And in this session, we call in Lord Buddha and angels of peace to be with us. Lord Buddha wants to step in to just bring us to a more peaceful meditation state. For it is in this peaceful state that we can welcome in divine love. It starts with divine peace. He stands in front of each of us with a gentle smile. He radiates his gold light to us. Connecting his brain, his mind with us. Connecting his heart with us. Allowing his energy fields to reach us. As we meditate with Lord Buddha. And as these peaceful energies come in, those energies and emotions that are not in resonance will leave us. The stress, the tension, the anxiety, negative disruptive thoughts. As we continue sitting with Lord Buddha, these discordant energies gently leave us. Feel ourselves floating in an oasis of calmness and stillness. And Lord Buddha continues to stay with us, continues to send his divine peace to our energy bodies. And now we call in and invite Egyptian goddess Hathor, goddess of love, to join us in meditation with the angels of love, angels of peace. And Goddess Hathor join us, sending her loving light top down, shining on our crown, the loving light, so bright and radiant. Breathe and receive. And the loving light courses through our brain, infusing us with loving thoughts over time. Washes through our eyes, helping us to see ourselves, everyone around us, and the world we live in through divine love. Moving into our ears, gently washing and flushing our ears with divine love frequencies. And then moving into our throats, washing through our speech and voice with divine love frequencies. Flowing down to our heart, the higher heart and the heart chakras, filling it with divine love. And it rushes into all four chambers of the heart, the front and back and sides of the heart. And then moving into our stomach, our solar plexus region, calming us down with love. Know that it is all right, it is safe to be you, to stand up for yourself, to express yourself, to protect yourself. And then the divine love flows into the sacral chakra, the reproductive region or the womb region, filling it with divine love frequencies, helping us to be creative with love. Helping us to feel safe, like a mother embracing a child. Goddess Hathor is here with us. And then the loving frequencies flows down our hip, our buttocks, and our legs. Inviting the divine love frequencies to flow into all cells of our body. Inviting the loving frequencies to flow into all organs and systems of our body. Inviting the loving frequencies to flow into our energy fields, allowing us to integrate and embody these loving frequencies as a part of us over time. And feel how these energies make you feel right now. And wherever you are, as you continue listening to this, you will be able to integrate more and more. As you create more space, more loving frequencies flow in to the pockets of spaces left behind. Allow yourself to be bathed in these loving frequencies and just float in them. There's nothing to worry or think about. And as we continue to assimilate the loving frequencies, Lord Buddha continues to infuse us with divine peace. Goddess Hathor sends us divine love. And then we call in your dragons, the dragons of 2024. We're very excited to join us in this meditation as well. The dragons with their vibrant, exuberant energies, they joined us. And some of them have wings. They're beautiful wings. Each dragon goes to each of us and they go to our back of our body, allowing us to feel their energies as they come closer to us, allowing us to feel their wings like our wings, their body like our body. As we connect with the dragons in the grand finale of 2023 and moving into 2024, their energies. And we see the energy bodies of each participant lighting up. A huge ball of light surrounds each of you. And the dragon energies may feel courageous, confident, empowering, yet safe and protective. They send the energies of divine courage to each of us here, preparing us to embark on 2024 with courage, a strong love. They send us. And know that you are never alone. You walk, you fly with the dragons and their energies henceforth. And there's a recalibration of some of our mind, our brain, to the dragon frequencies. And the back part of our body, as they merge with us, there's purification and purging going on as well. Helping us to embody more divine courage in all levels of our being. And feel within us how innately powerful we are. As our loving and supportive group of divine beings join forces today to allow us to connect with their energies, allow us to know them better. Feel ourselves blending into oneness with all that's around us and within us. And gradually, we invite Lord Buddha, Goddess Hathor, the dragons, angels of love, and angels of peace to lower the intensity of their energies, to assist us to integrate these higher energies in the best way possible, aligned to us. And we thank them for their kind assistance as they step back. And we call forth our divine presence to come close to us as we call back all our soul parts, aspects, fragments, energy, and power across time, space, lifetimes, dimensions, parallel realities, to come back and merge with us so gently, without causing any holes, rips, tears to our auric fields. Allowing all these missing parts to come back and reunite with us. And we connect back to the tree of life above us, beneath us, intending for all excess energies to flow down from our soles of feet to nourish the earth beneath us, taking in what we need right now. And gently we take our consciousness back to the space where we started this meditation, feeling and visualizing all four corners of the space that we were in. Gently taking our consciousness fully back to our physical body. Feeling and connecting back into our body, all parts of our body. Anytime you feel ready, gently take in 3 deep breaths, slowly and mindfully, before you open your eyes.